Today we have started a new topic that is called the kinetics of particle. Okay, in the previous one, what we have gone through, that is the kinematic of a particle. Okay, so what is the difference between that? Here we introduce another that is called the force term, right? Now in the force term, in the kinematics of particle, we can say that according to the Newton's law, we can say specifically that is the second law, particle will accelerate when it is subjected to a unbalanced forces, right? So kinetics is the study of the relation between, you can write also, study of the relation between unbalanced forces and the resulting changes in the motion. Okay, resulting changes in motion. Here we can use three general approaches. First of all, you can write this thing, three general approaches are there. One, we can say that is the direct application of the Newton's second law. Also sometimes we can say it is a force and mass acceleration method. We can say sometimes it is a force mass acceleration method. Okay, another one is the use of work energy particle method. You can write work energy particle method, or it is better to write work energy, only work energy method, work energy principle method. Now impulse and momentum method. Okay, in the so in the using the first law, using the second law of motion, you can say second law of motion, you can say simply that the summation of all forces acted on a body is equal to mass into acceleration, right? And here one is the constrained motion, another one is the unconstrained motion. So what are that? Now unconstrained motion means the particle free of mechanical guides and follow a path determined by its initial motion. Okay, and the force which are applied to it from any external sources. Clear? So one is constrained motion. Constraint means, remember one thing, constraint means always when a particle means we can say totally determine the path by a guideline. For example, if we say constrained motion, in a rail a train will go, right? So that is the train have a specific path, the rail actually, right? That rail, through that rail only train can move forward. So that's why we can say it is a example of constrained motion. Now come to the rectilinear motion. In the rectilinear motion, you can see that in the rectilinear motion you can see that one is summation of force along x-axis, we can say summation of force along x-axis, we can say along y-axis, we can say, and along z-axis, we can say, right? So simply we can write this as fx fy is equal to m into ay, and and summation of fz is equal to m into az. Clear? Now, in the curvilinear motion, this is the called I have said about the rectilinear motion. This is rectilinear motion. Now talking about the curvilinear motion. In the curvilinear motion, I have already shown to all of you that how we can use the that is called, one is normal and tangential coordinate in the last class, another one is the transverse and the radial component. Now they are already shown that that is, one is a r, right, another one is the a theta. These things are there, na? A r is equal to r double dot minus r theta dot square, and a theta is equal to r theta double dot plus 2 r dot theta dot. These things are already discussed. So say these are the things. Now come to another thing, that is the another method, which is the work and energy method. In the work and energy method, the simple formula for that is the, what happened here? Simple formula for that is the work and energy method. Du means the displacement is equal to force into, sorry, total energy is equal to force into displacement, right? So if we use this thing, we can apply both for rectilinear motion also and for the curvilinear motion also. Okay, here another thing which is come into the picture, that is called as a D'Alembert's principle in this work energy method, or we can say sometime a Newton seconds, from the Newton seconds law we can also implement that thing. So here what are the things are the what are the things are there? First of all, see, D'Alembert's principle said, very important thing, this topic sometime comes in the short note in the exam. D'Alembert principle. In the D'Alembert principle, what it said, here we measure the acceleration of a particle with respect to a fixed axis. Then we can simply say that for example, if I say, suppose this is an axis system, fixed axis, for example. Okay, and if a particle is there, you apply different force, it means summation of all forces, right? Summation of all force. Due to that, they net unbalance into the particle, and due to that it accelerate, right? I think is my voice audible, student, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so think, just see, if a particle, for example, practically consider a car, how a car accelerate actually, when some unbalanced force generated, due to that it go or move forward, right? So but this is a thing happening, but suppose when we observe a particle moving from a moving frame, okay, in which particle is attached, then the particle necessarily appears to be with respect to rest or the equilibrium in the moving frame. What it means? It means, suppose you all know that in a train, if you sit, though you are in the rest condition, but you are moving from one point to another point. Is it right? Hello? Please reply. Suppose when a train running or train moving, if you are, though you are sitting in the train, you are in the rest position, but till now you move from one place to another place, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the same thing is here also. When the observer who is accelerating the moving frame conclude that the force act on that particle in terms of, we can say, the force which acts on us, means when we are in the traveling in the train, then the amount of force which is acted on us, we can say that is nothing but the net acceleration and the mass of individual us. It means mass of a particle. So here we can say it is that summation of all force acting of us on us and mass into net acceleration due to these forces. If we deduct, then we will get this one. So this is actually the D'Alembert's principle. Remember this thing. Okay. So what is the physics behind that? I have told. So what is the significance? See, try to understand. This is the fixed frame occurring, but when a ball which is already on the moving, means consider for us, huh? And when the train running, means the net force which is acted, and if we need to do the equilibrium, then the net mass into acceleration of us is, it should be equals to the summation of all forces. It means this one. Understand? This is the fixed frame from where we can say that we apply some force, or the summation of net force means summation of all forces on that body, consider us. Then how can we say this is a equilibrium condition? When we can say this is a equilibrium condition? When the net acceleration acted on us and the mass of us is equals to this one, then only we can say. Okay. So this is the principle of D'Alembert's. Clear? Anyone have any confusion? Please ask it now. Anyone have any question? Hello.
No, sir.
Okay. So based on that, we can solve some problem. So let's solve. Suppose in an angle they have a weight of W1. Okay, first write it. A weight of W1 150 Newton, which is placed on a inclined plane of theta, if we say 45 degree, and consider this weight is connected with another what can say, another pulley. And consider this one is connected with another pulley which have another weight connected with this W2. Okay, consider that W2 is 100 Newton. Consider this one is what I have told, 150 Newton. So by means of two frictionless pulley, if these are connected, if given mu is equal to, means the coefficient of friction is equals to 1.5, where it is acted in this portion only, block and the angle, inclination angle between there, only here the mu is acted. Then find the T value. T means the tension which is acted here. Is my question understandable? Question is understandable? Please reply.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So if it is, then how can you solve this type of problem? Here, remember, first of all, what we have to do, find the, means first consider the total tension. See, you have to do the math in such a manner that for block, consider the block W1, means this one, or we can say simply 1, huh? Give it name 1, this is 2, it is better. So the tension in that pulley, sorry, in that string, it means the similar tension also in that string. So T plus F is the friction. First draw the free body diagram. This is the thing where W is this one, in this here, here, this is F, this is T. As this is inclined, so the body or block 1 have a tendency to move in the downward, so that's why the friction in the opposite side. Okay, and another thing is, this is theta, which means this one is also theta, na? Understand? This is theta, so this is also theta, this portion. Okay, theta 90 minus theta 90 okay, this is also theta, and this is we get W cos theta, we get W1, sorry, W1 sin theta. Clear? So when we doing the summation and consider your summation of fx, this is your x-axis, huh? Consider like that, this is your y-axis. So summation of fx is equal to, you know, so what we have to do, f plus t plus, how much it will come, uh, D'Alembert's principle say that summation of f minus mass into acceleration is equal to 0, right? This is from the D'Alembert's principle. So summation of f minus m into a is here what? A is here due to the gravity. So and the mass is, it is not given, weight is given. So what you can write, we can write here minus W1 by G sine theta into, this is minus sorry, W1 by G into W1 by G is a mass into acceleration, sorry, this one is A, only this is due to the mass into acceleration. Another thing, this one also we have to consider, so minus W1 sine theta is equal to 0. Anyone have any confusion in this equation? Anyone have any confusion in this equation? Please ask.
No, sir.
1 second, sir.
Okay, see, D'Alembert's principle said summation of f minus mass into acceleration of that particle is equal to 0. We don't know the acceleration till now, but we know the mass, that is the weight by g, na? So that is the mass. So mass into acceleration, and this, in this way, that is the t and f, these are positive side in this axis, and negative side is my w1 sine theta. So that's why this is a minus term. Okay, this equals to, give us the 0. Next one is, when we consider, so from this equation, what we can write, from this equation we can write t is equal to w1 sine theta minus A by G minus F is equal to friction, na? So here F is equal to mu into normal, na? And we can say that normal is how much? Along y-axis, if we consider along y-axis, means summation of Fy, summation of Fy, if we write the equation for that, W1 cos theta is equal to mu into n, na? This is downward and upward side is only normal. So W1 cos theta is equal to n. This one, W1 cos theta is equal to n. And here F is equal to mu n. So mu into W1, W1 is common. So mu into cos theta. Is it okay? Any confusion, anyone? Now, block 2, if we consider here block 2, so both side have tension, so we can write 2t, and this is the downward motion of weight, so we can write W2, which is the show us the mass into acceleration. So mass is W2 by G into acceleration is A, right? Now the thing is, in the question they have given that find out the t value when this acceleration, for this case if we consider this is a dash, the acceleration of 2 is equals to a by 2, means the acceleration of this half. Understand? Means the acceleration it will get, the half value of that is this acceleration, W2. So we can write here instead of a dash, and a dash means a by 2. This is actually given condition as per the question. Anyone have any confusion in this two equation, block 1 and block 2? Please reply. Hello. Hello. Please reply. Is there any confusion in this two equation? So just put the value t is equal to W1 is given how much? W1 is 150, sine 45 is 1 by root 2 minus a by 9.81 minus mu is 0.15, 1 by root 2 cos 45 also. So this will give us how much it is? And if we write this one, W2 is 100 by 9.81 into a by 2, which shows us 50a by 9.81. So 50 by 9.81, from there we can get 50a by 9.81 plus W2 is 100 divided by half is t. So we just equalize these two. 50a by 9.81 plus 50, better it is right 25, na, because half is there. So this one is equal to this one. So if we equals both side, we will get 150 by root 2 minus 150a by 9.81 minus 0.15 into 150 by root 2 is equal to 25a by 9.81 plus 50. Anyone have any confusion here? Hello, please reply at least.
No, sir.
So please solve this one then. 150 by root 2 minus 150a by 9.81 minus 0.15 150 by root 2 is equal to 25a by 9.81 plus 50. So what will it come? A is how much here? 150 by root 2 is 106.066 minus 150 divided by 9.81. It is better to cut it here and give it to here, na? I think it is better. Plus 150a by 9.81. So 175 it will give. Minus 0.15 into 150 divided by root 2, that is 15.9099 equals to 175a by 9.81 plus 50, na? So just move it to here, minus 50. So this will give us 40.15609 into 9.81 divided by 175 is equal to A. Now is it okay? Now is it okay? It will give us 2.2. 2.25. So this amount of acceleration is there. Now to find out the tension T, we have to simply put this value here, where it is equation here or here, anywhere you can put. So better to put it here, na? It is quite easy. 25a by 9.81 plus 50. 25 into by 9.81 plus 50. How much it is? 55.7365 Newton. Is it okay now? Hello? Any confusion or anything, please tell, please ask. Hello? Hello, student, are you there? Hello? Please reply at least. Hello?
No confusion, sir.
Okay, okay. See, so just recapitulate this thing, as this is a new to all. That is the D'Alembert's principle. So this is the summation of from the Newton's second law, actually it will come. That is the summation of F is equal to mass into acceleration. But when we move that one into the in terms of any fixed reference frame and the moving reference frame. So we can use this formula, that is the summation of f is minus ma is equal to 0. And this above equation actually it can be interpreted as, if it is considered that the summation of all the force is the net force acting along the direction of motion only. Okay, that I give an example, na? That is that you are sitting on a train, so the all the force acting on the direction of motion only, so that their combined effect will be the we can say the restore the equilibrium. It means that there is a no unbalanced force is acting on the body if we use this equation. Means all the net force acting on the body when that body is in motion, and the mass of that body, and the due to the force the acceleration generated in the body, if we uh, do the this summation of f minus mass into acceleration, that will give us the net resultant as equal to 0. It in the dynamics actually, why it is, because if a particle a friction, a fictitious particle if we say, and for the on that if a fictitious force is acted, so that is called as a inertia force. We can say it is added the opposite to the direction of motion. The best example for that you can see, if a bus or any train you are sitting on, hmm, if it's moving and suppose suddenly it applied the brake, then what happened? You move forward to some extent, right? It indicates to maintain the equilibrium of that system, you just move the your body in the forward direction at a certain angle. So that is actually the acceleration which is acted on your body. Clear? So in such a manner, we can interpret the D'Alembert's principle. Remember, this is a very, very important topic, D'Alembert's principle, and you have may some problem also come on this. Clear? Okay, let's go another example of this. This is also similarly tension and block mass example, numerical example. So let's do that one. See, suppose you have, please send the attendance screenshot to me. Suppose you have a mass which is suppose connected with another mass, consider it is a m1, and consider this m1 will move at an acceleration a, and due to this mass there have some tension in this string. So and both should be equal as there is a frictionless pulley. So if mass 1 have, if consider mass 1 have 15 kg and mass 2 have 10 kg, are connected by a string, and consider that coefficient of friction is 0.25, then find the acceleration of the system of masses. Means this is connected here, there have some friction, this is connected here. So you have to find how much acceleration occur due to this two mass connected via a string. So to solve this type of problem using D'Alembert's, what we can say, that summation of f minus ma is equal to 0. Simple thing. So m is what? Sorry. F is what? F is mass into acceleration. So mass due to this gravity, we can say m1 into g minus tension is acted in the upward direction t, right, minus m1 into acceleration a, I have written m into a, is equal to 0. Anyone have any confusion here? Anyone have any confusion here?
No, sir.
Okay. See, the thing is m1 into g in the downward direction, tension in the upward direction, and as this is a system of moving system, na, means due to this mass will go in this direction and it move in the downward direction. So m1 into g minus tension will, if we deduct that one, will give us the net mass into acceleration, and we can also put that one into the equation in this side, so that the summation of all is equal to 0. So this is for m1. Now for m2, if we want to write m2, we can say block m2 into acceleration minus okay, we'll first draw the m2 in this side is t. If it is go in that direction, f is in this direction, which is the mu into n, and mu into n means this weight, and upward direction is the normal, means upward is the n, downward is the m2 into g, right? So for this fbd, if we write the equation, we can write that is m2 into a minus t plus f equals to, if it is equals to, if we write, obviously this equals to 0. So m2 into a here in this direction. So t minus f is equal to m2. It is better to write actually plus minus minus. I think it is better to write. See, this is your t in this direction. In this direction is f. So t minus f, it will and what we have to write, the minus m2 into a. So here you can find t is equal to f plus m2 into a. F is mu into n1, so mu into m2 plus m2 into g plus m2 into, sorry, what I have write, f is equal to mu n, n is m2 g plus m2 a. Okay, so this will give us t is equal to m2 mu g plus a. Clear? And another one is tension in the string from the previous one. Here t is equal to m1g plus m1a, right? Is it right? T is equal to, sorry, this is minus. So m1, if we common, g minus a, so we can write equals to, the both are tension, na? So m1 g minus a, na? G minus a to g minus a, yes. So finally we get the acceleration, c, m2 mu g plus a is equal to m1 g minus a. If it is, then we can write how much is the acceleration then from these two. How can we find? m2 mu g plus m2 a plus m1a minus m1g is equal to 0. So if it is, then we can say that m2 mu g, m2, sorry, a, if we give it common, then m1 plus m2 is equal to m1g minus m2 mu g, then A is equal to m1 minus mu m2 g divided by m1 plus m2. Any confusion here? And if we put the value, we get m1 is 15 minus mu is how much I have given 0.25, no? Then m2 is 10, and here 9.81, here 15 plus 10. So how much we will get? 0.25 into 10, 15 minus answer into 9.81 divided by 25. So it will give us the 4.905 meter per second square. So finally, this is the acceleration at which the body in that system acted actually, and the body will move in the downward direction. Means I am talking about this one. It means at 4.905 acceleration, that body will move in the downward direction. Okay, and if we in the question it is said that find out the tension. So how much the tension now? The T is equal to m1. I have written that one in the previously here. See here na, m1 into g minus a. So m1 is 15, 9.81 minus 4.905. So which shows us 9.81 minus answer into 15. This will give us the value of 73.575 Newton. This is one answer. This is one answer. Please practice this type of problem at your home. If anyone have any new type of problem, if it not possible for you to solve, just send that to me. Okay, no issue. I will solve and send the answer to all of you. Here, anyone have any confusion? So today we solved one problem and another problem, two problem total, na? Two problem and the D'Alembert's principle, constraint unconstrained motion, and the different approaches, just their name only, and this is the new chapter actually, that is the kinetics of particle. So have you sent the attendance, today's attendance? Are you already sent? Hello.
Sent, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I end my lecture here.